So, friends, welcome back to Hobby Vomit. It's me, Matt, and I am back with another Weekly Retch. It's been 2 weeks. Uh, we took a week off from the Weekly Retch, so in theory, I think Ian will be handling the next one. But yeah, here I am, here to talk about the movies I watched, the books I read, and the games I played in the last 2 weeks. And it was a busy 2 weeks. This will probably be one of the longer Weekly Retches that I've done, maybe since the beginning. But yeah, I'm super stoked to start talking about it. So yeah, basically, if you're new to the channel or new to the series, Ian and I rotate weekly, and we just talk about what we've watched, played, and read in the last 2 weeks. Just very high level overview, kind of going over everything. So here we go. Let's talk about the movies that I watched in the last 2 weeks. So I am a big horror movie fan, which you will see here in a moment. Always loved horror movies, even if they're like bad. I still love watching them just because they're fun. So, got a lot of horror this week. I watched five movies in the past 2 weeks, which is more than normal for me. It's normally about one a week or so. So, Bree, my partner, and I watched both 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. I had seen both quite a few times, but Bree has never seen either. And now they're starting to show trailers for 28 Years Later. The hype is building, and I'll talk about it. So 28 Days Later is, in my opinion, the best zombie movie out there. Technically, they're not zombies, I guess, but they're zombies, right? They're still zombies. They bite you and they infect you. But man, they're terrifying. And I think what's so great about 28 Days Later is it does kind of what the Walking Dead comic did. Not really the show, because the show is something beyond the first season, but it is really more about the people and how people treat each other in these circumstances. So really love that. I mean, the cast is surprisingly really good. I mean, Cillian Murphy is Cillian Murphy, which is, and Brendan Gleeson's in it, which, I haven't seen it in probably 10 years or something like that. So it was really fun getting to rewatch that and show Bree, and it holds up, I think. Now, 28 Weeks Later is a bit of a different story. It is certainly not as good. A different angle, and same thing, the star power in them. It's like Idris Elba, Rose Byrne, what's Hawkeye's name? Jeremy Renner, I think Jeremy Renner, Michael from Lost. I don't know the actor's name, but like pretty all-star cast. Imogen Poots, like it's crazy. And so that was fun to watch too. Definitely not as good. It leaned into it takes a interesting turn to where there's like a super daddy zombie, and it's fun. I mean, and pretty scary. It's got an incredible opening scene. Terrifying opening scene. So if you like zombie movies or zombie adjacent movies and you like horror and you have not seen either of these, do it. Watch them. And the new one looks excellent. So really happy I got to show Bree, though. She really liked them as well. Then Bree and I took a trip to Austin, and I watched 2 movies while I was in Austin. We always go to the Alamo while we're there, because when we lived there, we loved doing that, and I love the Alamo. It's great. Alamo Draft House, not the place, which should make sense because it's in Austin. So we saw Final Destination Bloodlines, the new Final Destination, the new movie in a franchise that is beloved and known for scaring people my age, making them terrified of planes, making them terrified of roller coasters. And, those fears have kind of waned a bit. And I remember watching Final Destination 2, which is the pile-up on the highway. And that one, originally, I was like, yeah, that's not as good as, like, the plane or the roller coaster. And now that I'm older, I'm like, no, that's the scariest one. And myself, and I imagine a lot of other people, will no longer drive behind trucks with logs on them. And I never will ever again, because it's terrifying. So if you don't know what Final Destination is, it's this series of movies where somebody has a premonition of themselves and presumably a group of people dying in a tragic accident. and they have this premonition right before it happens, and they save everybody, but Death doesn't take kindly to people changing his plan, so he comes back to get you. And they're just fun. I mean, they're not good movies, but man, they're fun. And I gotta say, this one was really, really fun. It might be up there. Maybe it's recency bias. I was fully going in expecting it to be like awful. It's like we're on the sixth one. It's like, all right, they're milking the cash cow. But no, it was really, really fun. Very self-aware. This one was more, kind of self-aware than the other ones. More funny. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think Brie did as well. Then that night, when I was staying at a buddy's house, and the previous time that we were there, we normally do like a movie tradition. And the time I was there before, we had watched a movie called REC, Record. And it is a foreign horror movie. I think they made an American version of it, but it's basically like a found footage where they're going into this apartment building that has been quarantined because of some disease, aka it's very zombie-like as well. First one's pretty damn good, I will say. If you like found footage, it's pretty tense. Not the American version, but I don't know if it's just... I don't know. It's Spanish, but I don't know where it was made. But this was Rec 2, a sequel. It was fine. It's like a direct sequel, so like it starts at the moment that two end, or the moment that one ends, and it follows like police going in. It was fine. You get to learn more about the lore of what's actually happening. Some good scares, but all in all, a little forgettable, especially compared to the first one. And then, keeping the horror train going, Horrible Bosses. So, not really a horror movie. Brie had never seen Horrible Bosses, and one night we just wanted to watch something. I was like, oh, have you ever seen Horrible Bosses? And she hadn't, so we threw it on. And it's pretty good. I mean, it holds up mostly. We had a good time. There's definitely some very, very funny moments, and it's fun seeing particularly Jennifer Aniston in that role. I'm sure she had a blast. Her and Charlie Day back and forth, which is just too funny. So yeah, really enjoyed that as well. As far as ranking, I think 28 Days Later is like a 4.5 out of 5. 28 Weeks Later, a 3.5 out of 5. Rec 2, probably a 3. Final Destination, Bloodlines, a 3.5, and Horrible Bosses, 3 to 3.5. I'm kind of right in between. So those are the movies I watched. And then I'm also still continuing my watch of The Rehearsal by Nathan Fielder. And this Sunday is the season finale. Episode 5 was interesting. It was almost a no-laugh episode, but really intriguing. I think what's been most interesting to me about it is seeing the internet's response to it. Because Nathan Fielder... I mean, I thought it was obvious. He's playing a character. He's playing Nathan in his shows, and he's very like awkward and uncomfortable, and putting himself in these positions to create awkward comedy. That's what he does. And but the internet, some of the internet, I just don't think they get that, and so they're taking it very, very literally. And it's just been fun, kind of getting to read some of the back and forth on the internet about that. But it was still a good episode. Definitely my least favorite of the 5 that I had watched so far. Finale's this Sunday. I'm hoping it finishes strong because, I mean, at the very least, we got episode 3, which was one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. If you've not watched The Rehearsal, it's not for everybody by any means, but you should at least check it out. I think at the very least, you will walk away saying, wow, I've never seen anything like that. And that's what The Rehearsal does best. So that's what I watched in the last 2 weeks. Let's talk about some books. I am talking about 8 or 9 books here. I got my list in front of me. A couple of those I finished. So we'll start with Lonesome Dove. Finally finished that with my family, doing our family book club. And loved it. I mean, I loved every second of reading that book. We did stretch it out for like 5 months, which was a little tough for me. But... I mean, it's just peak character work. I truly felt like I knew those characters, and I'm sad that it's over. 5 out of 5, probably the easiest 5 out of 5 I've ever given. So that's one that I finished. Another book I finished was The Color of Magic. I've been working on this for quite a while as like my nighttime read. But I got to the point where I was reading like 8 books at a time, and I need to just finish a book. So I sat down and finished this book. This is the first Discworld book, and I had heard it's the first published Discworld book, but a lot of Discworld people, it's very split of like, where do you start in Discworld? You don't need to read them in any order, but there are some people like read them in publication order. And then there's a pretty loud voice that's saying, do not read The Color of Magic first. It's like the weakest one. A lot of people struggle to get through it. And so, of course, I did the smart thing, which was not listen to people, and I started with The Color of Magic. But I am happy to report I liked it. I don't think it didn't blow me away. It wasn't the best book I've ever read, but it was fun. I mean, if anything, it felt almost like 4 short stories, and it is almost written that way. Like, there's 4 parts. There are recurring characters, but they really feel like 4 isolated stories, and all 4 of those stories were really fun. I don't think the character work was super strong, and it's a little confusing at times, so I see why it's not very well reviewed, or not even not very well reviewed, but probably the lowest. But I gave it a 3.5, maybe a 3.25 out of 5. I haven't done my actual BARF review for that yet, so I'm not sure exactly where I'll land, but that's about where I will land. And I guess I'll note, I don't think I'm going to do a Lonesome Dove review, just because I did a discussion with my family in private, and I don't know. I feel like I already said what I need to say, and I don't need to record it. So 5 out of 5, though. Color of Magic, 3.5 out of 5. I might do a video for this one. I spaced it out so long, I don't know if I will, but we'll see. If I really need, if I'm like, if I got a week where I don't have a book review, maybe I'll just record a short review. Then the third book I finished, started and finished within this time frame, was The Long Walk by Stephen King. I'm one of those annoying people that, like, I didn't want to watch the trailer because I didn't want spoilers. I knew the general vibe of, I knew the general gist of The Long Walk. Like, I know what it is. But honestly, especially with horror movie trailers lately, they show like 3 to 4 kills, and I don't want to see that. Like, they show trailers these days. I don't know if they're just desperate to hook people into the theaters or what, but a lot of trailers show pretty significant spoilers, and it's starting to get frustrating. So I didn't want to watch the trailer before I read the book, so I powered through. I loved it. I could not believe how much I liked this book. It's really just kids walking for, I think it was almost 350 pages. But man, was it riveting. Some great character work, a lot of just horrific and traumatizing parts, and an incredible ending. I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think people know what they're talking about when they say Stephen King can't write an ending. Maybe he's got a couple of flops, but of like 85 books, that's a pretty good track record. And of all the ones I've read, I've not read one yet where I was like, that ending sucks. And I've read about 28 Stephen King books now. And this one was an amazing ending. Really loved the ending. Really loved the whole book. Yeah, highly, highly recommend it. It's a very quick read, too. So if you are interested in reading it before the movie comes out, I think you'll have a great time. And now that I finished it, I did watch the trailer. The trailer looks pretty good. Pretty good. It seems like it's like made for a movie. And I'm hoping they nail it. Seems like tonally they are going to, based off the trailer, but we will just have to see. And then I finished one more book. I can't remember. I will do a review for The Long Walk, I believe. And then the last one was Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. I don't think actually, I think this was in my last Weekly Retch. So I'll just say I finished it, 4.5 out of 5. I do have a review on the channel if you're interested. And then Ian is currently reading it. And then Ian and I are going to do a pre-recorded interview in a couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. Okay. What other books am I reading that I've not finished yet? Bree and I, for our breeding, we are right in the middle of Red Country by Joe Abercrombie. About halfway through now. Loving it. It kind of worked out perfectly to where we started it right after finishing Lonesome Dove. And it really feels like Joe Abercrombie read Lonesome Dove and was like, I'm going to do that. But with the Joe Abercrombie twist. And I think he's really pulling it off. I'm I'm loving it. It's maybe not going to be at the level of like the Heroes or Best Served Cold, but man, it's really damn good so far. I'm excited to see the second half of the book. What else am I reading? The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. We are doing a big group read with a couple buddies on the channel. So if you've seen Josh and Brooks on our movie discussions, Ian is joining. Bree might be joining. A buddy named Sam is joining. So we're doing kind of what Ian and I are doing with Malazan. We are breaking it into parts. There's 5 parts of the Devils. So tonight, which is if you're seeing this on Sunday night, we are going to be recording our discussion on part 1 of the Devils and post that sometime next week. So we are going slow. So every 2 weeks we're going to do a part, and there should be a video up every 2 weeks from starting this week. So that's been, or hopefully will be very fun. So far, really liking the Devils. Only read part 1, which is the shortest part. It's an interesting thing, right? This is the first, I'm not counting his YA trilogy, but this is really the first non-first law that Joe Abercrombie has done. And I think it was inevitable for people to just immediately directly compare it to that, because it's just, it's all people have known for 20 years is First Law, and it's very different than the First Law. It is, he wrote it as a comedy. And honestly, like, based off what people were saying, I was expecting to be just absolutely bombarded with jokes. Like, every sentence was a joke and a joke and a joke. But it's not been like that. It's like maybe one every couple of pages, and I'm fine with that. Even if it increases a little bit, I'm okay with that. I think Joe Abercrombie's humor is pretty funny. Not every joke's going to land, and humor in books is especially tough, right? It's kind of like a jump scare in a book. They just don't happen that often. I don't find myself like reading something and then like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I don't find myself laughing that much. I'll chuckle here and there, do one of the nose laughs that people tend to do, but I'm not like cracking up, tears rolling down my face often. Not very often. So I think I just maybe have managed my expectations for this book. Very curious to see how my mind will change as we continue on. But yeah, so far, so good with the Devils. What else am I reading? I read one short story from Night Shift by Stephen King. I've been working on this bad boy for like a year and a half now, trying to finish it. It's just one of like that, if I need something small and short to read, I'll pick up. I think I only have one short story left in it, which is exciting. I can finally wrap it up. Not that I'm not enjoying it. So far, it's been incredible. And this short story is included in that, called Quitters, Inc. And it's basically this guy has a smoking addiction. He meets a buddy in the beginning, a long-lost buddy. Not lost, but a buddy he hasn't seen in a long time. And the friend hasn't been able to stop smoking, and our main character is like, man, I wish I could do that. And he's like, hey, take this card, contact this Quitters Inc. They'll help you out. And so he does, and it's the rest of the story is mostly about what this company does, their process to get you to stop smoking. And it's pretty horrific. Great short story. I had a really good time. And yeah, I'm on to my last short story of Night Shift. Who knows when I'll read that, but hopefully soon I can take it off this list, because I feel like every time I talk, I'm talking about Night Shift. All right, 2 more books. Discovery by J.A.J. Minton. I had read the first part of this a bit, maybe a month ago or so. Knocked it out real quick. Then I got like 8 books in my queue, and I had to put it on pause. Really liked part 1. Part 1 kind of is like setting it up. It's told in 5 acts, but there's also 2 parts for each act, if that makes sense. So I read the first act 1. Really liked it. Followed a character in like a journalism thing. It is a cosmic horror in the beginning. Basically, this crew discovers something under the ocean that is maybe like mythos. I don't want to say too much, but they make some discovery. And so part 1 was all about like the journalistic side back on land in like a skyscraper, right? This big news company. They are figuring it out, trying to put the pieces together. Really liked that. The second act 1, I'm just about wrapped up with that, and it changes gears pretty significantly, and I don't quite know how I feel about it yet. The character work in part 1 was incredible. Reminded me a lot of Stephen King. And then part 1, part 2, or whatever we want to call it, is written in as it's a journal you're reading. And it reads like a journal, and I think technically it's extremely impressive. I think they nailed it. It does feel like I'm reading a real journal, but you also lose that character voice, and I don't know. I'm struggling a little bit with this part. It's technically very well written, but it's really jarring. It's like you just slammed the brakes on me, and now I'm reading these like beautiful sentences, and the prose. It's just it's very abrupt and quick, which makes sense, right? You're reading a journal. Someone's just jotting down their thoughts, and I think it makes sense, and technically it's impressive. I just don't know how much I'm loving reading that part of it yet. We'll see, because this is, I think, for every part, there's one of these journals. So maybe as I get into the groove a little bit more, I'll acclimate more to the journal side of it. But it just was like a direct 180, and I wasn't ready for it, I don't think. So we'll see how that goes as I continue. I definitely still want to continue. I'm very intrigued. It's great so far. Just it was kind of like I'm having some whiplash on, it'd be like if I was reading a story and then it switched from third person to first person. I'm just like, whoa, okay, hold on. I gotta get used to that. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with that for now. But I am excited to continue on. Really impressive debut, by the way. Like it doesn't seem like it's written as somebody's first book. So really enjoying that. And then lastly, Ian and I are continuing Dead House Gates. We just put up our video on part 2 of Dead House Gates. Been super fun. I mean, we're so bad about making videos short, as you can see. I mean, I guess I did say this was going to be a longer one, but we're hitting 2 hours every time on Mladen. There's so much to say, so much to talk about, so much to gush about, so much to theorize and predict, and it's just been an absolute blast. So he and I wrapped that up, and then he and I both started part 3. So I am a few... chapters are so long. I'm only a chapter and a half into part 3, but it's like 70 pages in the book that I have. Loving it. I mean, I knew I would, right? Guards of the Moon I loved, and that's supposed to be the worst one. And this one's just, I've got no problems with it. It's going to be a 5 out of 5, almost guaranteed, unless there's something that comes out of left field. But I can't see it happening. So Dead House Gates has been absolutely incredible. So that's what I read in the last 2 weeks. Lots of books. And then I also played lots of games. Like I said, I went to Austin last week, and we did a bit of a gaming marathon. That's where I met a lot of my gaming friends. This was when I lived in Austin, so every time we go there, we play lots of games. So here we go. What did I play in the last 2 weeks? Well, first of all, I played some Mage Knight, which is like the ultimate solo game. It's basically an RPG. You go from 0 to hero. You're starting out as a knight, trekking across the land, and you can barely kill an orc in the beginning. Like, you're struggling. It's a card-based game. You got movement, you got attack, you got combat, and all that stuff. And you can barely kill an orc on your first turn, but by the end, you're literally killing cities. And it just feels like that 0 to hero arc, and it's super fun, very rewarding. It's tough, but it rewards just like good mathematical play and strategy. It's so good. Love Mage Knight. Finally got my first win, by the way, in the solo conquest. It took me like 15 games, but I finally did it, and it was very satisfying. So Mage Knight, my Kickstarter of Cretaceous Rails came in. This is almost like a route building. You're basically like doing a Jurassic Park thing. You're building a monorail for tourists to go see dinosaurs. And it's just like a lightish Euro. You're building out your monorail, and throughout that monorail, if you're touching tiles, you can take back tourists and they can see different dinosaurs along their route, or you can take back dinosaurs to cage, essentially, in your, I don't know what you want to call it, exhibit back home. And there's different scoring conditions, cards that you can get to increase those scoring conditions. It's good. It's really good. I had a good time with that. I also played Reef Project by Board and Dice. This is just a pretty light Euro, light to medium weight Euro. You're basically moving from island to island and dropping off these buoys to close off sections of the ocean that you can then clean. You get rewarded for doing that in typical Euro fashion. You're just taking small actions, to get mission cards, to play those mission cards to get points. You drop buoys to get points. You do area control to get points. It's points. You're just doing different things to get points, but it was a fun little puzzle. While we were in Austin, I played Root 2 times. Root is a top 5 game for me, even though I don't get to play it too often. It is a war game, but it disguises itself as this like cute little woodland critters on a board fighting, and every faction is asymmetrical, so you're playing the same game, but it feels like you're really playing your own game. Lost both games, but had a really good time. The first game I played the Erie Dynasty, which is essentially you're building up a big engine and trying not to bust, because if you can't do one of those actions, you go into turmoil, which is really bad for the birds. I did only go to turmoil once on the very last turn, but I didn't really have a shot of winning. We played against the otters, and the otters are really cool. It was the first time I actually get to play with them, and they're essentially selling their wares. They're merchants. They're selling their wares to the other players, but they get rewarded for that. And we just didn't really understand that we can buy their wares every turn, so we did. We just kept buying and buying. He was like, all right, cool. And he kicked our butts, but it was a really good time. And the second time I got to play the Lizard Cult, which was really fun. And the Lizard is just notoriously one of the worst factions in the game, but I think I had a pretty good game for the Lizards, but did not pull off the win. But I love Root. It's so good. It's so good, and I definitely need to play some more. I played Seven Wonders Duel 3 times. That's a really fun 2-player only game. You're basically building up your wonders and building up an engine over 3 ages, and then there's a couple of victory conditions that you just straight up win immediately, and then there are end of game. If no one's won, then you just do a score. So I think I won 1 and lost 2 of that, and that was really fun. I played Finspan 3 times. If you've heard of Wingspan, this is just like that, but kind of like a more simplified version, but with fish. You're either playing fish to your tableau or you're sending divers down the columns to activate previously placed fish. Very, very simple. I think I like it more than Wingspan because it takes away the unnecessary complexity of Wingspan with like an open market and the food dice. You take that all away. You're spending cards in your hand to play for other cards to go to a personal discard pile, and you get those cards back later, and it's great. Very, very quick, too. We played like a 5-player game in an hour with a teach, so super quick. Really great. Played some Dwarf Romantic. I mean, what can I say? We've got it on our channel. It's the ultimate chiller. I mean, no stakes. It's like that late night, 3 a.m. I think we played at 3 a.m. We're like, well, we want to play one more game, but like our brains have been fried at this point. We're like, let's just bust out Dwarf Romantic. We can just put on some music. No thought, just pull out a tile, place it down, and you try and complete some goals. And yeah, like I said, very low stakes. You don't feel the pressure to do super well, and we had a good time. That was a 3-player game of Dwarf Romantic. We did a 3-player game of Dune Imperium. Man, Dune Imperium, it's so good. It's so good. It's like a area. How do I even explain it? You're battling into the Dune universe. It's a deck building game, but you're also using the cards to place workers out onto the board, which is already really interesting. It was kind of one of the first like deck builder hybrid games, but also every turn there's like a battle that takes place, so you can just decide to put cubes into your troops essentially to fight for that battle. So it's very interactive, also very low scoring. It's only the end of the game triggers at 10 victory points, so it feels like a race. It's always really tight. And yeah, it was great. I actually won that game. I think that was maybe one of the only games I won over the weekend. It wasn't a great weekend for wins, but it's still a great weekend for plays. We played Clank Catacomb at 4 players. Clank Catacombs. This is the same designer of Dune Imperium. Just a pure deck builder. You're moving around. I guess it's not a pure deck builder. You're using your deck to move around a dungeon and collect artifacts while trying not to anger a dragon that will kill you, essentially. And there's a bit of a race element. A couple of us died in the dungeon in the depths, so you just score 0. A couple of us made it out. And yeah, that's always a good game. I love Clank. I think Clank Catacombs is the best version of Clank as well. And then Ian and I continued our Marvel Champions campaign that we've posted on the channel. The Fantastic Four fan-made campaign's been a blast. I'm playing a hero that I made. Ian's playing a hero that comes along with the campaign. And we just finished recording our third video of that. So there's 5 villains. We just beat our 3rd villain last night. So that'll be coming out this week. And yeah, I may have missed a game in there somewhere or missed something in there. But yeah, it was a eventful last 2 weeks, and it's been a lot of fun getting to game again. This is the most I've gamed in a long time, and it was a blast. Has some really good books, has some really good movies. Just a good 2 weeks. Got to meet Shay. If you've seen Shay on his channel, I got to meet Shay in Austin at the Joe Abercrombie book signing, which was awesome. I mean, meeting Shay and getting to meet Joe Abercrombie, both super cool. And yeah, it just was a great couple of weeks. So you should expect to see Ian have a video this coming Sunday. Other than that, this week, you should expect to see our Devils discussion. I think that should be this week. What else is this week? The next Fantastic Four video. That might be, in a book review. So Ian's wife, Bridget Riley, her debut novel or novella, if you will. I read that a few weeks ago, and my review for that is coming out on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching like always, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye.